So I interviewed your man Lush One recently. We did a 45-minute segment about the rise and fall of grind time. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, all right. Mad Illz saw it and he hit me up. He was upset, right? What was your reaction to the Lush One segment about grind time, other than when he was rapping like Mad Illz? Man, roll the clip. Why didn't you and Mad Illz do a battle for the ownership of grind time? That would have been crazy.
I mean, like, he would have got smoked really, really bad. Like Mad Illz raps really good from like a technical standpoint. Like, he's a great performer and he understands like the intricacies, and it's all like, got a lot of skills with a record on the bill, with a pop of the bell, with a chopping on the bills. You're like he understands it, you know what I'm saying? Like, throw punch like a ball, rock, but a ball, but you know, with a mob cocktail, and then like he can do all that, but when it comes to really dissecting somebody's character in the mind and error, like we're in different plateaus, and even has not something that artistically is interesting to me in any capacity. I would have to get such a he was talking about doing it, and they was talking about a battle rap tour where I was gonna get like it was gonna be some gay ass shit, like whatever. I had to like see him every night, but I was able to have a budget of $25 million so I could have my own band and bring my own people, and then have a set affiliated with it so I could like perform and sell, blah, 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 blah. And I was supposed to walk away from it with like, you feel me, like 75 bands, but obviously his ineptitude was unable to book a single fucking date, and I wasn't with it, because it'd be in his best interest to battle rap me. Now, like, he could like make an entire album about me and it wouldn't bat an eyelash. Like, I hope, like, I wouldn't give a fuck. Like, it doesn't, like, I have an important artistic message and it doesn't coincide with anything. Like, his name and his brand is far removed from mine, and the greatest, like punch to his gut that I could ever do is like, now, because of this interview, our name is going to be reintroduced to the algorithm, and I'm totally fine with that, because this is where I am, and this is where you are.
I mean, Lush is always an entertaining person to speak to, man. Lush is always an entertaining person to speak to. And he had a lot more stake in the grind time thing than I did. So him and Illz have deeper situations than I have. But I mean, he told his side, and a lot of it, it's pretty much what it was, you know what I'm saying? As far as him, taking his personal shots at Illz, that's something they're going to have to handle one of these days or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That was just entertainment. But yeah, I mean, a lot of what he said from his perspective, it sounded pretty straightforward for the most part. He held this shit down out there.
Do you think that Mad Illz has received too much of the blame and it being unfair?
Yeah, I mean, I think the issue is that, Mad Illz is very steadfast in what he believes in, what he stands for. Like, it's hard for him to wave on certain shit if he feel a certain kind of way. So I think that may be what rubbed people the wrong way. I think that may be what it is, you know what I'm saying? But my interactions with Mad Illz have always been positive. I knew Mad Illz way before Grind Time. You know what I mean? We used to go out to Orlando and do a bunch of shows, and he would book things and things of that nature. So I've known Illz for a long time. I knew Illz. I was doing battle events with Illz, like lounge battles and things of that nature. I was doing shit with Illz before Grind Time existed. You know what I'm saying? And then when the Grind Time thing started, I remember when he was giving me the vision of this is before I knew Direct or Lush One. Like, I knew Mad Illz years before I knew any of them. And he was telling me his vision of what he was trying to do. And I was like, yo, that's dope. Because a lot of times back then, he would just hit us up and ask for advice. Sometimes he would ask me for advice. Sometimes he'd ask a technique for advice or whatever have you. And, he was a solid dude. He never crossed me. So we would give him advice and shit like that. And I remember when he was telling, what he was trying to do with the Grind Time thing, So it's crazy what it turned into. And then I actually ended up being a part of it, which is funny because it wasn't even through Mad Illz, which is even crazier. You know what I mean? So when the grind time thing started taking off and I started seeing like it was actually gaining notoriety, I was like, wow, son, that's so. You know what I mean? And then of course, obviously that's with Lush One's assistance on the West. And of course, my bro Direct with Direct's hand and everything. Like Direct, it's my brother. Direct is him. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but I do think I think people like picking at Illz, man. You know what I mean? People like picking at Illz because he don't interact like how we be all up in the loop like this. Illz stay on the side. He don't want to do this shit. I know he don't want to do another. I'm pretty sure he don't want to do an interview talking about Lush. I know he don't want to do that. You know what I mean? But
he said he would think about it.
What happened?
He said he would think about it, but I haven't heard from him since.
Okay, he said think about. I mean, I thought you come because you if somebody says certain things, you're gonna want to give a response, especially if it's on a platform like this. You don't want to let that shit just linger and act like that's the narrative, especially if you have something to combat that. But I know he doesn't wake up like, yeah, I can't wait to do an interview and speak on. I know he don't want to do that shit. You know what I mean? But yeah.
So how would you describe your role exactly in Grind Time? I know you ran the New York part, right?
Yeah. Grind Time East Coast. I mean, I was the executive producer. I was the booker. I was the bank. You know what I mean? I did everything but battle motherfuckers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I financed everything. So me and Sarah Connor and my bro Flacco, aka Dutch Vega, like and other people, I had a brain trust and we threw our ideas around, but literally I did everything. And my job in battle rap is pretty much the ambassador. I bring awareness to the culture to people that don't know about the culture. Like, so a lot of people, my face represents the culture. You know what I mean? Because I'm accepted in multiple circles. I'm accepted in a bunch of different groups of people. So, I've helped spread the battle rap. I've helped spread that across the fucking world, really. You know what I mean? But as far as Grind Time, yeah, I did everything but film the battles myself and actually battle. Like I did literally everything else. You know what I mean? I found the venues. I fucking managed a bunch of the guys. What else is there for me to say? And then plus I was there making sure, and then when my guys went everywhere else, I was making sure they was taken care of. Like if there was any issues, like I would let it fall on me before I let my people, feel some kind of way. Like I remember when back when we was one of the first times DNA had went out to California, went out to LA, and they was, put them up in some old crazy shit. And I'm like, yo, I'll put you in a better hotel. Like I'm trying to make sure people are good. Like I'm trying to make sure everybody, because my thing is as an artist, I've been an artist for a long time. So it's like, and my mentality is, I know how I want people to treat me when I'm pulling up as an artist doing certain shit. So why would I treat these guys any less? You know what I mean? So I always treat people with the utmost, and I help guide people's careers. Like I would set up the storylines, and it's like if I got a roster, I'm trying to book. I'm not worried about your next battle. I'm worried about 5 battles from now. Where you gonna be at? You know what I'm saying? We built careers and storylines and arcs and shit like that.
It's kind of like wrestling in a way, right?
And I'm glad you say that. And I got that because I grew up watching wrestling. I grew up watching wrestling, and I have a lot of good friends that are still active in the wrestling industry. You know what I mean? Hurt Business, Hami shit, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to MVP, Bobby Lashley, Sean Benjamin, all that, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I grew up watching wrestling, so I've always made the correlation between that and battle rap. And a lot of the shit that I learned from the wrestling shit, I incorporated into the battle rap shit. As far as setting people up, as far as the main events, as far as not creating like bogus storylines out of the air, but building people up and shit like that.
Anticipation and everything too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it has to make sense. I got you.
Like if I had this event, if I had an event today, best believe at this event, I'm telling you the main event for the next 2 events, I already got them locked in. Like it's a everyday it was really like a full-time job, like constantly jumping in and negotiating people's numbers and booking these venues, and it's a lot, but end of the day, somebody got to do it, man. If I ain't do it, who else was gonna do it? You know what I mean? So the grind time shit came from PH. PH had was running the New York shit first. PH and Jay's Juice. PH and Jay's Juice were running the New York division of grind time, and it was dope what they were doing. But at that time I wasn't involved per se. I would just I would help finance shit or whatever have you, but I wasn't actively going to the events and all of that. So but the events were a lot smaller magnitude. See, me, I helped bring it to a bigger scale. I was always, bringing the shit to the stage, to the clubs. Like, with PH and them, they did a lot of stuff like I said, fat beats and record stores and smaller venues and shit. But I'm like, I was like, son, we got to blow this shit the fuck up. We got to get this shit. We got to make this more grandiose. We got to make this shit bigger. Pause. And that was always my mindset. Let's make this shit as grandiose and as ridiculous as possible. Like, we need all eyes on this, you know what I'm saying? Which is why I dove in. I dove in, man, with son. PH was he had the Grind Time New York thing. And then he's like, I want you to take over. Like, I really want to concentrate on being an artist. Do you mind taking this over for me? And I was like, at first I denied it. I was like, I didn't want to do it. Because we were, at this time, I got two record deals at the same time. We on the road, music is dropping. I'm chilling. Like, I'm good. Like, that event was like extra shit. And I was like, I don't need extra things to do. And you want me to invest in these events too and spend my money? Like, I don't want to do shit at first. And then I started paying attention, and I'm like, wow, like, no, I saw what it could become. Like, that's when I was like, wow, this could turn into something else. Like, we could turn this into like a whole industry. And then that's when I started taking it serious. And then I started booking the events and bringing them out and shit like that. And, our first event was 7:30. My first event with Grind Time, totally just myself, was July 30th, 2010. And the main event was I had PH and Philly Swain, and I had Soul Calm versus Fresco. Soul Calm versus Fresco was the main event, and for PH and Philly Swain. And I had Styles P out there, Paulie Malignaggi, I think. A bunch of people came out and held it down, and that was the rest is history from there. You know what I mean? That's how the grind. That was my foray into the grind top thing. Was right there. You know what I mean? And then it just lightning in the bottle, man. World Star started putting up stuff up. Vlad was putting like everybody was using our content to everybody was using grind time content to build up their platforms. World Star used battle rap heavily to build up their platform. Fucking YouTube. Like, I say to this day, bro, I swear we the reason that they make the videos longer on YouTube. I'll take that. I'll say that.
I agree with you.
People can deny it and all that. We the reason battle rap on the whole is the reason that they make the videos longer on YouTube. Because we used to have to break them up 3 pieces and do shit like that. But
that shit was annoying too when you would have to do that.
Like a motherfucker, yo.
Yeah, man, I agree with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, so on Vlad, like 12 years ago, you said there was a lack of organization and too many chefs in the kitchen, too many different factions, basically, right?
In Grind Time, yep.
Yeah. So you said you didn't believe there was a malicious intent by everyone, but it was like people just didn't share the same ideals.
100%. That's exactly how I felt. I feel the same way today. Because when it expanded, and it was dope that it expanded because of the popularity, what was going on. Like, yo, bro, we were doing things that nobody was doing, that nobody has done still. Like, we were bringing, we had our own stages at festivals and shit like that. Shout to Lush.
Hey, dudes.
Yeah, shout to Lush One. You know what I'm saying? But we were doing shit that nobody was doing, that nobody has still done. Yeah, I mean, you can give everybody else all the credit you want, but let's just look at the shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? We was on a whole nother, we was in a whole nother stratosphere, bro. But with that comes over expansion. You know what I'm trying to say? So like when we had it with just a few divisions, you know, New York, Fresh Coast, upstate New York, the original division down in Florida. When there was a handful of divisions that could all operate under the umbrella, it was a lot easier to control. But once shit got out of hand, literally they was popping up like this shit was popping up everywhere like 99-cent pizzas in New York, bro. This shit was popping up everywhere. Like, yo, how many fucking outside divisions we gonna have, my nigga? And the shit is, and my thing is, everybody didn't have the same roster of people and didn't have the same quality control. Like, I had a team of monsters, you know what I mean? But before URL, like, rated most of them. But I had it like New York and California. Like, when I first started in New York, like, New York wasn't the powerhouse that it was. Then it became, you know what I'm saying? When they were doing it early, it wasn't the power. And my thing was, I'm like, yo, this is weird. I'm like, yo, how are we in the biggest, one of the most populous cities in the world and don't have one of the most populous divisions? You know what I mean? So it was my duty.
We created hip hop, basically.
You feel me? You feel me? So I took that as a personal challenge to build this shit up into something that was just magnanimous. You feel me? So I did that, and then plus like looking at what Lush and them was doing, we always had like the spirit of competition. I always wanted to smoke them niggas, but It was love. It wasn't no hatred shit. But I always wanted to, like, yo, y'all niggas, nah, son,
a little sibling rivalry.
Like, yeah, bro. So that was one of the reasons I took it so serious, because I felt like there's no way that we shouldn't have one of the most elite divisions in this shit. You know what I'm saying? So, it expanded, and everyone didn't have an elite roster of people. I'm not saying that everybody was whack or whatever, but it's like, okay, when you say you go from like 5-6 divisions, I'm just saying off the top of the head, you go from 5-6 divisions to like 15, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then everyone wants to jockey, and then everyone wants to like, of course, when the battle comes out, you want your battle to be the first one at the top of the page, and so, but it's like, okay, but I'm over here if I'm doing Slave 7 versus Disaster, you feel me, which is a monumental type battle, like, it don't, like, and you did, MC Cheetos versus whoever the fuck, like, nah, I'm not trying, there's no discussion on who needs to be in the front of this page or who needs to push. Like, that battle is irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? I don't, it is what it is. So it's like, there was no hierarchy. It was like everybody was just doing what they was doing and expected the same, like, piece of the pie. And it was just like, nah. And then as far as the structure at the top, you know what I'm saying? They were all at odds and shit. So it was difficult. It's difficult to maintain when the people at the top are at odds. And my thing is, I came in as an independent contractor. You feel me? So I was cool. Like, I could have came and went as I wanted. You feel me? Like, I was doing them a favor, really. You know what I mean? So it just got to the point where, it was just too many people would say so. Like, if it would have been streamlined and kept it to the proper people and the proper channels and the proper checks and balances, it might have lasted longer than that. And plus, also, it was a quality control thing, because every single battle game need to be on that main page. You got to keep in mind, we helped introduce the structure of a feeder league. We did that. You know what I mean? The draft. That was our idea, which was before the PGs and all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? It was before all of that. Check it out for yourself. If I'm lying, tell me I'm fucking lying, which I'm not. Because at home in New York, I'm like, yo, everybody, we have a bunch of MCs, but everyone is not going to be on the main page. So it's like, you know what? Before you get to this stage that we on, when I'm doing these events at these big ass venues and shit, everybody is not going to be on that stage. So like, let's have some quality control, and that's where we implemented the draft. You know what I'm saying? So the draft came in, and that was our feeder system, and by the time you came through that and stepped on the stage, you was already on point. You know, a lot of people, you know, saw that structure and built their feeder systems as well.
I feel like it should have just stayed Fresh Coast, New York, and the original for a much longer time until those things were really solid. And then the expansion could have happened further, right? Because it's like when, you know, you have that one restaurant that's super popping and the quality's good. Next thing you know, like, oh, I want to expand and get another. But sometimes like the secret to why it was so good was like the main person was there watching over everything, making sure the shit was right. You know what I'm saying? But now you're not at the other location to watch it, see everything through. And then, you know, everyone has different agendas, different things start to happen. Right. And it's like, you know, when you first start out, some people might be really appreciative. Next thing you know, they might start feeling like, yo, y'all motherfuckers don't know what y'all doing. Like, you know, I know better. You know, it starts to become a struggle for power almost,
right.
You know?
Right. And yeah, it was kind of that. And then if people, and honestly, like I had the opportunity to leave. I left later. I could have left earlier because when URL saw what we was doing and they decided to build this structure and build the URL shit, you know what I mean? The URL's first event was the same day as the Grind Time event. Let's be clear. The first X amount of events they did was to directly compete with us. URL was birthed with competing with us. I'm not talking about Smack DVD. I'm talking about URL, Ultimate Rap League. It came out to compete with what we was doing in New York. Facts. And so I could have left early because I didn't have a bad relationship with them either. Because you see, I went over to URL,
right?
Yeah. So I just wasn't with the like, damn, bro. Like we could work together. You ain't got to poach everything. We could work together, bro. Like I'm the type of dude. If I was doing an event, because you can see my history shows I'm really for the culture for real. Like if I was doing an event, I would check the date, and the first thing I would do was hit anybody that was pretty much in the same vein of what I was doing and be like, yo, what you got this date? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, on some fan shit, I want to go to your shit too. Like, but other people ain't like that.
Right.
Other people are like, what's your shit? Let me do it the same day because I want to siphon what I want to take away from what you're doing so I can build my shit. I didn't work like that. Like I really wanted to, like I want to be at your event and my event. So I'm gonna call up, yo, what's up? Or I'm doing something this day, whatever. And then you know, get that day and then do whatever. Because I want to be at your shit too. Whereas other people would be like, are you doing something that day? Yeah, let's do something the same exact day. Try to shut this shit down. But he couldn't do it. So with I could have left too. Back when Norbs was still around, shout out to that guy Norbs. He you know, invited me over to the URL. So he invited me over to the greener pastures. And yeah, at first I was like, nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna ride this out here. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I've always been my own man. Like I never really needed somebody to co-sign what I did. I never did. I always just did what I did, period. In rap too. Like I put a record out if I want to put a record out. If I want to throw an event, I'm gonna throw an event. I don't, you know what I mean? That's the beauty of independence. Like I don't really have people above me tell me what I should or shouldn't do. Or if I feel it needs to be done, I'm just going to put my best foot forward and get it going. But Norm said step to me and was like, "Yo, we want you to come over here." You know, he did the Suge Knight Saucy Boy shit. Yo, come on to the row. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, so
you tired of music videos being put right in the middle of your battles?
You tired of 9-5 highway commercials? Come to the rock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shout out to my man Lucky, the living legend. That's a classic 9-5 highway commercial. But yeah, so Norm's hollered at me. Keep in mind, like I had history with Norm's anyway. Norm's from Brooklyn too. You feel me? So I already knew Norm's, and Norm's used to judge our battles. You know what I'm saying? He was judging our battles. You know what I mean? So, but he had partnered up with URL because I think he was managing math or helping to manage math at the time, right? He was managing math, yeah. So, obviously, math, another one of my brothers for 140 years. So he came into Norm started, bring me, come over here. We trying to organize some shit. We want you to be a part of this. And I kept stalling them out. I'm like, nah. But then when I saw the grind time shit was just kind of deteriorating, and I was just like, now that this shit ain't going to due to all the other shit we just explained, then I'm like, let's see what they talk about, because I might as well see what's going on. They were always successful. The thing with them, they were always on their business shit. Shout to Beasley, Chico, whatever. And that's one thing. Like I came into it more on some. This is for hip hop shit. What a fucking idiot. They came into this shit on some business shit. So they was on their business from jump. You know what I'm saying? So that's what sets them apart, and that's why they still a force to be reckoned with. So I stalled out, but then after the grind time shit kept crumbling, it was getting worse and worse and worse. Then I was like, yo, you know what? Fuck it, let's see what's going on over there. So I jumped over.
But like when Direct and Lush left, like that wasn't like a sign for you, like, yo, I should leave too.
It was a sign of something. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew a change was coming, but I'm also.
You also really loyal, huh?
I'm a super loyal guy. That's one of my. That might be one of my fatal flaws. I'm wild loyal. Like I got niggas, I'm over here with y'all. Like, what am I jump over here for? But when I saw that they kept deteriorating, then it's like, okay, I'm not just gonna stand around. Oh, like, nah, let me get out of here. So yeah, I'm super loyal. Kings brought me over there. I'm over here. Like, the fuck? That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here.
But
I made magic over here.
With you being cool with everybody, right? You're still cool with Mad Illz. You're cool with Direct. You're cool with Lush, right? How do you feel about the allegations of like the money situation? Like people saying, oh, they stole. Oh, no, they stole. It's like allegations thrown back and forth about who stole money.
Ain't none of them niggas steal nothing from me, so
I know. So like for that part, you just overlook it then? You just kind of like, that's y'all business?
It's not overlooking. It's like, first of all, a lot of this is years back, so it's hard for me to remember all the details.
Right.
But everything that I did personally, I didn't go, like, I financed everything myself. I didn't come, like, sometimes they got me sponsorship and shit like that, occasionally shit like that, but I didn't go to them for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I made my money. I didn't, like, I don't know, because I think some of the guys was like paying to be a part of grind time or something. If I'm wrong, somebody will correct me. Yeah, I ain't do none of that shit. I'm not paying no dues to get no fucking grind time or no shit like that. Like, I'm here. Like, I'm nigga, without my shit, like, this shit ain't gonna float like I would float. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I didn't have any, like, I don't know about the appropriation of funds, to be fair. So I don't want to speak on it, I'm not sure. But all I know is none of them niggas ain't taking no money from me. So I didn't have no reason to feel no kind of way about, you know what I mean? None of that. Ain't nobody take nothing from me. Nobody take no breath from me. You know what I'm saying?
So would you say that it's more fair that everybody played a role in the demise of grind time rather than putting the blame mainly on Mad Illz then?
You can't put all that on one person. That's not fair. You can't put it all that on one person. You know what I'm saying? I think there are multiple contributions that led to shit going the way it go. But the main thing I attributed to, everybody was young.
Right.
Like probably the oldest person involved with the shit at the time was maybe like 30.
Damn.
Everybody was young. Mm-hmm. Everybody's in their 20s and younger. You know what I mean? So it's like nobody had their business mind like that at the time. You know what I'm saying? So it was just missteps due to that. Like none of us knew how to operate something. Like nobody knew this was gonna catch lightning in the bottle when this was gonna be one of the most popular forms of entertainment in such a short. Nobody knew that shit, bro. Because battle rap existed before that, and it wasn't like it was. there's valleys and peaks of popularity. Like sometimes you get the main street shit like 106 and Park or the Fight Club was on. Like, yeah,
Right.
but it never took over it never took over like it did until we brought these things to the forefront. So nobody knew what was going to happen. So I don't think anyone was prepared for it in that fashion. Nobody was prepared for it in that fashion. And none of us had any older people in business that was able to like, yo, this is how things go. Because I made I made plenty of mistakes. Still, when I remember with math, I helped with math. I did a lot for math. Like I helped stage math's comeback after the Verge shit, and he took like a year or whatever off. So he came to the crib and we structured his whole comeback. Like I did this shit with him and I did math and Daylight. I gave Daylight his first headline battle in LA, and I'm from Brooklyn. You heard? I did the first battle event with YouTube. I partnered up with YouTube. Nobody never did that before. I did a battle event with YouTube in 2013. That was the whole Daylight Math Hoffa, Shotgun Shug, and John and Real Deal Big K. Like that was, I wanted to meet them all, but it didn't. But you know what I'm saying? So, math, like, yeah, like I said, there's plenty of things that I did that, but I'm like, my thing is, you got to try shit. You don't know what's going to work. So with math, we was always trying to figure out ways to push people to certain things. And math always thought big. You see what he's doing now. I'm not expert. Shout out to Expert Opinion and all that. You know what I mean? I got to get my next appearance up there and shit. You know what I'm saying? But, son had, he was just like, yo, we trying to come back. So we lined up. He told me who we was trying to battle. I did his first battle back was Marv 1. Yeah, it was Marv 1. We did that at Draw. It was Math and Marv. And Math won that. Math did his thing. You know what I'm saying? Marv is always fired, but Math got him that day. And but even that day, like I was trying to find out. I was always trying to do things outside the box. So like, I bet on Math. I'm like, yo, if you really feel like you would draw like that, like we book this shit and we worked out a percentage. I'm like, yo, I'll give you X percentage of the door. Like I'm not gonna give you a set salary. I gave him a deposit. I'm not gonna tell that because I gave him a deposit, which is decent. But I'm like, that's a deposit. But whatever comes after that, we're gonna divvy up these receipts. And we're gonna see how much of a draw you really are. If you're talking like you a draw like that, then gamble on you being a draw. You know what I'm saying? So I did that. Like I always took risks with people, and I didn't mind doing it because I felt like that's what you're supposed to do in business. And I wish I had more know-how with certain things, because I definitely would do a few things differently. But like I would take risks like that. Like with math, I did that shit. You know what I'm saying? I gave him a percentage of the door. You know what I'm saying? But we had worked that out beforehand. You know what I mean? And some risks I took worked in my favor, and some risks I took didn't work in my favor. But that's the whole thing of taking risks. You know what I mean?
So to bring it back to Grind Time, do you foresee in the future there being potentially a documentary being made about the impact that you guys had?
That'd be fire. If there was a Grind Time documentary, that would be amazing. There would have to be a lot of people to be interviewed as far as to get the precise story. You know what I mean? So if it's just Lush One or just Mad Illz or whatever, it's not gonna be right. It got to be everybody. You know what I'm saying? It has to be all the main components. You know what I mean?
We need like avocado. We need everybody.
Everybody. You know, we would need avocado. We would need Callus. We would need Mad Illz. We would need Direct. We would need Sunny Bamboo.
You,
bro. I know I'm missing wild names, but like that's the core. You know what I mean? We would need all those people. Like I would need Sarah Connor. I would need Dutch Vega. You know what I'm saying?
Even some of the rappers though too.
My nigga, oh yeah, of course. I would need my bro Aspect. You know what I mean? My nigga Aspect. Yeah, we would, and of course, all of the rappers that came from Grind Time. You know what I mean? From all the guys we got from the East Coast to everybody. Like so, because there's a lot of people that came. Like Grind Time was kind of the forefront of what's going on now, as far as and even the talent pool. Like all of the talent that came from Grind Time, insane, bro. all the talent that came from Grind Time was ridiculous.
And we would need a great interviewer for the documentary too. And I happen to know somebody, you know, I'm not saying any names, but you know, just yeah.
I hear you. Let's get it going.